In a world where wealth buys control and perfection is expected, one fleeting moment, a young black waitress guiding a billionaire's disabled son in a clumsy, heartfelt dance step, shatters a hardened tycoon's carefully guarded heart, setting him on a path he never saw coming. Charles Warrington sat at the head of the polished mahogany table in his Manhattan penthouse, the city skyline glittering through floor-to-ceiling windows. His life was a fortress of precision. Every deal, every minute, every relationship calculated for maximum gain. At 52, he was a billionaire several times over. His name synonymous with real estate empires and unshakable power. But tonight, his focus wasn't on the contracts strewn across the table or the board meeting looming tomorrow. It was on his son, Ethan, who sat quietly in his wheelchair at the far end of the room, staring at a tablet screen. Ethan, 19, was Charles's only child, born with cerebral palsy that left his movements unsteady and his speech halting. To Charles, Ethan was both a source of quiet pride and a reminder of life's unpredictability, a variable he couldn't control. He loved his son fiercely but struggled to bridge the gap between them. Ethan's world was one of small joys and quiet resilience, while Charles's was a battlefield of ambition. Tonight, though, Charles had promised Ethan a rare evening out, a dinner at a modest diner in Brooklyn, a place Ethan had chosen after reading online reviews about its homey vibe. The diner, called Mama's Kitchen, was a far cry from the Michelin-starred restaurants Charles frequented. Its faded red booths and checkered linoleum floor screamed nostalgia, not luxury. The air smelled of fried onions and coffee, and the hum of conversation mingled with the clink of dishes. Charles felt out of place in his tailored suit, his Rolex catching the fluorescent light as he scanned the menu. Ethan, however, was beaming, his eyes bright with anticipation. He loved places like this, unpretentious, alive with people who didn't stare or whisper. Their waitress, a young black woman named Maya Johnson, approached with a warm smile. She was in her mid-20s, her hair pulled back in a neat bun, her apron slightly wrinkled from a long shift. Her name tag glinted as she set down water glasses. "Evening, folks," she said, her voice carrying a faint southern lilt. "I'm Maya. What can I get started for you?" Charles ordered a steak, rare, with a side of grilled vegetables, his tone clipped but polite. Ethan, after some effort, managed to say he wanted a cheeseburger and fries. Maya nodded, jotting it down, her eyes lingering on Ethan with a kindness that wasn't pity. "Cheeseburger, fries, got it," she said. "You want extra ketchup on the side? Makes those fries pop." Ethan grinned, nodding vigorously. Charles noticed the ease in his son's expression, a rarity around strangers. Maya didn't talk down to Ethan or direct her questions to Charles, as so many did. She spoke to Ethan directly, her tone light but respectful, as if she saw him, not just his disability. As Maya walked away, Charles leaned back, watching Ethan tap his fingers on the armrest of his wheelchair, a habit when he was content. The diner was busier now, families and couples filling the booths, a group of teenagers laughing near the jukebox. Charles's phone buzzed, a text from his CO about a zoning issue in Dubai, but he ignored it. Tonight was for Ethan. The food arrived quickly, and Maya set Ethan's plate down with care, making sure it was within his reach. "You good?" she asked him, and Ethan gave a thumbs up, his mouth already full of fries. Charles watched her move to another table, her energy steady despite the chaos of the dinner rush. There was something about her, maybe the way she carried herself, unhurried but purposeful, that stuck with him. Halfway through the meal, the jukebox kicked on, playing an upbeat Motown classic. A few patrons clapped along, and one couple even got up to sway near their table. Ethan's eyes lit up, his head bobbing slightly to the rhythm. Charles noticed but said nothing, assuming Ethan was just enjoying the moment. Then Maya appeared, wiping her hands on her apron. "You like this song?" she asked Ethan, leaning down slightly to meet his gaze. Ethan nodded, his smile wide. "Love music," he said, his words slow but clear. Maya's face brightened. "Me too. This one's got a good beat. You ever dance to it?" Charles stiffened. "Dance? Ethan couldn't dance. Not in the way most people could. His legs didn't cooperate, and his balance was shaky at best. But Ethan's expression didn't falter. "Can't really," he said. His voice tinged with regret but not defeat. Maya tilted her head, undeterred. "Oh, come on now. Dancing's just moving to the music however you can. You got a favorite move?" Ethan laughed, a sound Charles hadn't heard in weeks. "Maybe spin," he said, gesturing to his wheelchair. Maya's eyes sparkled. "A spin? That's a power move. Show me." Charles opened his mouth to intervene, to say it wasn't practical, but Ethan was already gripping the wheels of his chair. With a small push, he spun in a wobbly circle, his face alight with pride. The other diners noticed, some smiling, others clapping. Maya clapped loudest, her laugh infectious. "See, you're natural. Now let's do it together." Before Charles could process what was happening, Maya stepped behind Ethan's chair, gently guiding it in a slow, rhythmic turn to the music. She didn't push too hard or take control. She let Ethan lead, his hands on the wheels, her touch light but steady. They moved in a small circle, Ethan's laughter mixing with the song's beat. For a moment, the diner seemed to pause, all eyes on this unlikely pair, a young waitress and a boy in a wheelchair, dancing in their own way. Charles's chest tightened. He'd seen Ethan happy before, but this was different. This was freedom, unscripted and unforced. Maya wasn't performing for attention or trying to prove a point. She was just there, meeting Ethan where he was. Charles's gaze flicked to her face, catching the genuine joy in her eyes. Who was this woman? The song ended, and Maya stepped back, giving Ethan a playful high.